I'm Christopher Sean, and I'm a fashion designer. With society completely suppressing the LGBTQ community, I create garments that suits them so they can express themselves for who they are instead of going to the mall and being forced to shop a gender that they normally don't fit, or even then you don't find clothes that normally fit your personality. When I was trying to figure out what or who my client was and figure out how to create the garments they like, or create garments that will suit them, not just what they like, because they may not like it, but when they put it on, they may feel like who they want to be. Every body is different, and right now clothes are made for genders, not for specific body types. I think it was in middle school when I just stumbled upon Project Runway on TV, and I was like, that's interesting, but I didn't realize I wanted to do that just yet until going to Diamond, working in electronics. After doing that, I'm like, I don't want to work in electronics. I want to have fun and enjoy what I do. I think currently in this moment, what drives me is seeing all the suppression that's happening in today's society with the LGBTQ community. That empowers me, or angers me almost, to shove it in their faces, to let us live how we want to live. Because we're not harming anyone. We're being ourselves. There's, of course, the cliche answer Alexander McQueen, but then there's a designer that not many people really know, or she's breaking the surface, Iris Van Herpen, where she combines science, technology, and fashion into one medium, and she will use 3D printers, laser cutters, CNC routers, creating her own fabric, laser cutting her own fabric that she makes, and then creates a garment out of it, but it's all based on science and technology. Designing fashion, it's a lot like engineering, where you have to plan out each piece, the shape of each piece. It's a lot of geometry that goes into it that people don't really know of. I first try and come up with a general theme for the collection, and then from there I start thinking of all of these different out-of-the-box ways to create a garment, or out-of-the-box garments that people wouldn't normally wear, and just trying to figure out how to put them together. Or I'll see something and I'm like, I want to pull that from that garment, pull this from here, and mash up a garment from other garments I see, or look at shapes from nature or architecture already and try and incorporate that into a garment. The white pleated trench coat, just because of the knowledge and time that it took to create that one, trying to figure out how to sew a three-dimensional fabric to one that's still 2D, that was hard. Trying to even just figure out the process of pleating is that I use an origami pattern to fold this mold, or this paper that I consider a mold, and then I press the fabric into it and then steam it, and depending on what kind of fabric it is, it'll hold the pleats. As long as there's a little bit of polyester in it, it'll hold the pleats. Unlike certain silks, the silk would just fall flat after you take it out of the mold. The train prints, before I even made them, I had this idea of making, or trying to figure out a female garment and a male garment, combining them into one. So I figured all right, what's the most feminine garment that you can think of? And I thought of a woman's wedding dress. And so I took the idea of a train and put it on each leg of a pair of pants. And the colors, the fabrics are reversible. So one leg is one color, the other leg is the other. For my first collection, didn't sketch a single thing. My second collection, I sketched out everything and planned it all out. But now for this third collection, that hasn't seen a pencil or paper yet. It's been all in my head. My third collection, this is the second time I've said this out loud, because it's like kind of scary to just say it out loud, but the idea comes from concentration camps and how during that time gay men or gay people in general would be wearing a pink triangle on their arm instead of like the Star of David. So I want to expand on that, almost like, since this collection is supposed to be for like autumn winter, I want to have it like to have the models portray like being emaciated, being freezing cold, so then these garments, will be like nothing to them. The fabrics will be sheer, or there may be holes in the fabric. Like, I don't want this collection to feel like it's like you're supposed to be wearing it for the winter. I want the viewer to see like pain and the struggle of how they were forced to live. And what I plan on doing is having crystals in the collection and having one crystal represent like each soul that was murdered or even forced to be in the concentration camps. There's just a ballpark of 5,000 to 50,000. I have no clue how many souls were actually lost. I don't think I'm gonna really tell people at the show like what the meaning of the collection is. I'll just try and have them figure it out themselves. I kind of want them to not figure it out, because I like to have the meanings of the collections just be for myself. That's what most of my collections are, a subtle but not subtle statement at the same time. For the fashion world, I would love to either be like a creative director for a menswear line, either Balmain, Dior, Alexander McQueen. Mainly like Balmain and Alexander McQueen, because those collections are down the same path that I designed for. If I don't end up becoming a creative director for one of the major fashion brands, I want to be competing with them with my own brand. Enjoy what you do, because then you'll never work a day in your life.
Well, thank you very much for answering my questions and telling everyone a little bit about yourself. It's been nice having you.
Has it been?
As it has.
Well, at least one of us thinks that.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.